Reports have confirmed the death of 29-year-old news anchor Somtochukwu Christelle Maduagwu, who was reportedly killed during an armed robbery at her residence in the Katampe area of Abuja on Monday. In a statement signed by Hadiza Usman Ajayi for the TV station, described the 29-year-old lawyer and broadcaster, described her as a cherished colleague and urged the police to launch a full investigation. Somi tragically passed away in the early hours of Monday following an armed robbery incident in her residence in the Katampe area of Abuja that is being investigated by the police, the statement read. The station did extend condolences to her family, colleagues and friends, demanding that her killers be brought to justice. Her death has triggered widespread outrage on social media, with many Nigerians lamenting the worsening state of insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory and beyond. The FCT police spokesperson, Josephine Ade, confirmed that investigations are on the way. The incident adds to a troubling list of violent robberies in Abuja and, in the broader scope, Nigeria. Earlier this month, police arrested 4 members of a gang linked to the killing of a disc jockey, while in May, armed men invaded an estate in the Idu area, injuring guards and looting homes. I want to get your thoughts on this report, Kolawole, but, for me, this report particularly resonates with me because this is my colleague. I'm pretty sure the same way I had, thought about, done my production for my reports for Monday. I'm sure she pretty much brought out the outfit she was going to put on the night before, but never to put that on. And sadly, she has tragically died in this incident. What are your thoughts on this report?
Apologies. It's just a sad one, especially given that there's a phrase Nigerians say, when Nigeria happens to someone, and that's just what has happened to her. I've been seeing posts on literally all social media platforms, and everyone is really sad about it, especially with the fact that she was quite a bright person. And bright or not, nobody deserves to just lose their lives to things like this. I know that we cannot completely rule away crime. There's literally no country without crime and all of that. But the rate at which it is happening in our country now is alarming. And the scary part and sad part is the fact that our leaders do not take these things as seriously as they should. Some months back, our president was it Brazil? I can't remember the country, but has been traveling.
All right.
Countries telling them, "Oh, come out and invest in it." And sometimes I get confused and annoyed because I ask myself, okay, you are calling people to come and invest, to come and do business, for partnerships and all of that, but we are still battling with serious insecurity, like rising insecurity. It's not even a fact that we are trying to even manage what we have. On the right hand side, you have kidnappers. On the left, you have banditry. You have ritual killings.
You have one chance operators.
One chance. In Abuja, that has been a thing for years. And as sad as it sounds, we have the culture of just living with things, and we just be like, oh, like some people say, "I saw it be for this part of Nigeria." One chance has been going on for long. Armed robbery is a case that happens, but whenever these things happen, people just get sad. We talk, and we move on from there. Then it happens to someone the next day. So it's just a sad thing that could happen to anyone, and sadly it happened to this bright young woman, and it breaks my heart so much. And the fact that she was actually she actually believed in Nigeria, because I had to go through a profile a bit. She's actually a dual citizen. She could have been in I think it's Britain. She could have been in Britain or any part of the world if she wanted to. She had opportunities. She
right.
has been in broad positions, to say, or broad seats that could have given her more opportunities. But she wanted to be part of those that would make Nigeria better, only for her to lose her life to something like this. And it's such a sad thing, really, that this can happen to her, and it can also happen to anybody. I just want our leaders to take this a bit more seriously. Let us even look inwards to what we are. Like, we have a lot of things we need to do in Nigeria. Let us even leave. Let's leave out the things that are distracting. I'm just talking about our leadership now, our president, our governors,
Right.
our everyone involved in leadership at every point. Let us focus on what we have going on in our country, the little good things, the negative ones. Let us fight these things. I mean, some weeks ago, bandits came out openly to say they want to have peace talks. Still, I think 2 days or some days ago, some of them were literally running around in is it Kaduna or Kano, can't remember exactly, on bikes and chanting and singing and this. I mean, nobody has come out to say anything. We can't continue to live like this because it will get to a point where everyone will feel. I mean, it's everyone for themselves, and at that point, I'm sure it's not going to be easy for governments to now begin to curtail things
Right.
because not to merge or mix things up. When you see countries that go into complete state of emergency, these are the things that flares
Trigger
the
it.
fire. Because when it's not being addressed by the leadership, when changes are not being seen, people will be forced to then, when they are pushed to the wall, people will be forced to now take action, and that is not what we want. We believe Nigeria can be good. We believe we deserve security. We deserve good jobs. We deserve good sense of living, good essence of living. We can't keep. We have one of the we are one of the smartest people on this earth. We have hardworking people. We have good cultures, interesting diversity, but our leaders are not even focused on these things. Rather, you see that you hear that they want to buy some cars, or they want to buy some generators, or they want to buy things that are not even adding value to the common man out there. And it's really sad. It's really sad.
I mean, Mr. Kola, you've touched on a lot of salient points. The fact that she did have a dual citizenship and she would have chosen to be or not to be in Nigeria. And oftentimes you hear people at the echelon of our security architecture say things like, we are winning the war against crime. Do you really think we are winning the war against crime?
I do not think we are. I do not think we are. Um, if I speak for myself, I don't. I mean, everybody can speak for themselves, but aside from even speaking for yourself and speaking for yourself or themselves, I need to say, if you open any online newspaper right now as we speak, or if you go on the radio or go on TV, it's constant bad news after one after another. It's either someone is murdering someone else, it's either kidnappers are kidnapping children, it's either kids are being trafficked from one state to another, it's either bandits are doing. It's not. I mean, what it doesn't seem like we are winning any battle. Sometimes it's not a Nigerian thing this time. It's more like an African thing, and it's a sad thing that we fail to tell ourselves the truth. We fail to realize the truth. I like to think most times that we know the truth. And I'm
Right.
speaking to the leaders now. They know the truth, but they choose not to address these things. Maybe because it doesn't touch them. At the end of the day, they have VIP convoys. Yeah, most of their kids and families are not even in the country, right? So at the end of the day, it's just more like a business for them. And some will say, oh, it's not their fault directly, but it is. Because when you put things in, when you put good systems in place, the nation would feel better. Crime would
Right.
reduce. I don't think crime is reducing. Personally, I don't know if someone else feels that way, but this thing even happened in Abuja. I mean,
Right.
that's like the capital.
Right. I was going
So
to talk to you
it
about
just shows
that.
that, yeah,
You know, you
it just shows
previously
that.
you previously mentioned on the show that you at some point used to live in Abuja, and you were living in Abuja previously. You did mention on the show during one of our discuss, and I wanted to draw your attention a little bit to, another angle of this discussion where, from my investigation and the reports I've been able to, gather online, the area which this lady resided, Katampe, is not necessarily an outskirt of Abuja. It's kind of like a developed area where there's security. How do you think these robbers were able to gain access? And this is not an isolated story. We've had the story of a lady that did say she wasn't interested in the relationship anymore, and her, her ex-lover was able to maneuver, even though he was not allowed by security personnel to go into the compound where she was, and still launched and killed this woman. Why is the security architect within this estate, where people pay lots and lots of money to get to reside, why is it so weak? Other than, then again, when you look at it at the broader scheme with external security, why do you think the security architecture is so weak even within these estates?
I mean, security is not. I personally, I feel there is no such thing as small security or big security.
Okay.
Security has to be finite. I don't know how to make sense of that, but let's say it has to be finite. It has to be constant and consistent before I feel. Personally, I'm speaking what security means to me.
Okay.
It's not something that should be on and off, right? And most times in this part of the world, security is on and off, especially when it is left in the hands of maybe organizations or private security companies, right? Because they're humans. The country in its own, let's say it's like, I want to look for a practical example. Let's say it's like coconut, right?
Okay.
Tree, which is like the main bark of the coconut, is not well safe, right? Now, the inside of it is, the old white covering and all that. But without the back, it's just all patchy. Like, they can only try to secure what they have in that estate.
Right.
And we know from how these things, how robberies and kidnapping and all these things work. I'm sure the criminals have a well thought out plan. And who knows, maybe the security or one or two of the security people could be involved. That's why during cases like this, when I come on the show, I always say things about accountability. I always frame out investigations. Let's not keep having this culture of loose-ended tragedy reports and all of that. When something happens, let us ask the right questions. Let the security operatives come. Let our police do their jobs. Let the what do they call them? The medical aspect of policing also do their job. Those that forensics, right? Now this has happened. The report says they're armed robbers. Okay, were things stolen from the house? I mean, this is just public outcry. Some are saying, oh, it's an assassination, right?
Right.
Everybody is saying what they want to say. But now the police has said they will investigate. So we need to know more about this investigation. Let us find out what happened. Are there cameras around? Was this pre-planned? Was it just a robbery that turned out to be, something else, or was it an actual assassination? Questions and answers need to be given.
Right.
Right. And like I said, security is not completely finite, especially when the state in itself, the country in itself, is having so much criminal, occurrences. So people can only do so much. When these investigations are now done, we can now tell if someone on the inside, gave those guys intel, or someone sabotaged the security of the estate. But over the years, while I stayed in Abuja, it wasn't a rampant thing, but there were still situations where secured locations were robbed. So sometimes no place can be really secured completely, especially when the country in itself is having so much crime, crime outbreak.